Hi, it's Andrew Bell, and great to be with you yet again. As you know, I don't highlight properties with each e-News report, but only when there is something truly very, very special. We certainly have one of those here today at 22 Madeira Street at Ashmore. Have a look as I share some of the insights to the market this week. This home is set on 4,720 square metres of manicured resort-style grounds. And there's an architect-designed home of some 90 squares in total. You'll get a good sense of how unique and special this home is. But it's in such a gorgeous area. It almost looks like a leafy suburb of Melbourne. It's quite unique here on the Gold Coast. Many features you'll be able to see yourself, but there are many more that you can't see. For example, the 30,000 litre underground water tank. But have a good look as I press on. Who knew we were in for such an action-packed start to the year? Here on the Gold Coast, an uncharacteristically poor summer with constant winds, overcast and plenty of rain. Talking about rain, didn't the east coast of Australia get battered with 2 once-in-a-100-year floods, and for some, in certain areas, a third flooding. And sadly, the European war that we didn't think would ever happen again. One thing that remains constant, that is that everybody needs a home. So the real estate market continues to receive a lot of focus. As I've said for 6 months or more now, the real estate market goes in cycles. And it was due for an easing from the most incredible boom that started in the middle of 2020. Unprecedented demand for property resulted in unprecedented shortages. And up went prices. That just couldn't continue indefinitely. And of course, any one of a number of factors we're going to start to apply the brakes to the marketplace. And those brakes have been applied now, well and truly. Now, since February of this year, we've seen the change. A number of factors, but all really centred around housing affordability. With house prices having increased 50-something% over that period of time, and with household incomes having just not kept up, there was always going to be a problem. As such, the borrowing capacity has hit a wall. Now, banks are factoring interest rate rises, and so eligibility for borrowing has changed, meaning people cannot borrow as much as they could before. Valuers have now adjusted their valuation process, and so valuations are not supporting higher prices. So the brakes have definitely been applied, and it's a very healthy thing. If the market hadn't had some brakes applied to slow it down, then ultimately it would have crashed. Of course, the media will give this a spin, as they always like to dramatise everything. They rarely can get the big picture and just report events of today. This slowing of price growth in the real estate market is healthy protection and much needed. Barring an X-factor event, which we've talked about before, it will just ensure that we won't have a property crash as we did back in the GFC. What will be of particular interest will be to see how the brakes that have been applied play out in different markets. We really don't know until later this year, but I suspect that Southeast Queensland will again be one of the star performing real estate markets of Australia in 2022. Not because of the continued price growth, but because of the least amount of price correction. But you have to remember, as I've talked about for years now, that real estate is part of an economic cycle. That cycle is worldwide, as well as right Australia-wide. But the amazing thing about real estate is that we all need a home. So there is a never-ending demand that's in the marketplace. It's just how large that demand is, and in proportion to the supply of properties on the market for sale. It'll be good to get rid of the election in just over 4 weeks, as they're always distracting and disruptive to the economy. At this stage, as I've mentioned previously, no particular significant policies by either party that will have any significant effect on the real estate market. I want to extend my thanks to all of those who are so supportive to our Business Meets Sports luncheon to raise money for the Surfers Paradise Surf Club. Well over $50,000 worth of new rescue equipment will be on the beaches shortly. It was wonderful to see so many of Australia's leading business people there, and we heard the views of 2 leading businessmen in relation to the views of not only the Gold Coast but Australia moving forward, and some wonderful stories about business successes. I hope you've enjoyed looking at 22 Madeira Street, Ashmore. For more information or a complete video please feel free to reach out to our marketing agent, Jackson Paradise, whose details are on screen now, and he will get all the information to you. It truly is very, very special. I'll be sure to keep you well informed of the process of the real estate market through this year. I've been through 7 real estate cycles over 45 years, and I'll continue to share those experiences with you throughout the year. Also, feel free to reach out if you have any specific question you need answered, and that can be done through the email address you receive this newsletter from. At a time where we're all so critical about everything, as we continue to enjoy one of the best standards of living in the world, we should remember just how fortunate we are to be living here in Australia. I'll be back with you in a fortnight's time. Look forward to being with you once again.